12 spine-chilling nights, the terrifying truth about my sinister neighbor revealed. Every night, as twilight drapes over Maplewood Estates, a dread the likes of which I've never known creeps through my veins. With 2 little ones at home, dreaming peacefully, I'm haunted by the terrifying reality that lurks just beyond my front door. It starts with Mr. Demarco, my neighbor. He stands outside, that twisted smile plastered across his face. It's too wide, too eager. I swallow my fear, dismissing it as paranoia, but deep down in the pit of my stomach, I know something isn't right. With every step to my car, the shadows stretch and twist into sinister shapes, their tendrils dragging at my heels, whispering warnings I can't ignore. The house lights flicker out one by one, leaving the streets shrouded in darkness. Grass shimmers an unnatural color under the moonlight, and I can't shake the feeling that every window hides eyes watching me. I grip my keys tightly, focusing on the sound of the wind rustling the trees, but it morphs into something else, soft thuds that resonate like whispers of dread in the night. Before we continue, I need to tell you something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to their system and many people are missing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and select all notifications so you don't miss future videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Each week the laughter of my children dims. One by one their friends disappear, swallowed whole by the silence of our once bustling neighborhood. Parents clench their teeth, eyes darting, unwilling to voice their growing dread. I raise my concerns to the police, but their dismissive smiles cut deeper than I anticipated. They choose trust over my growing alarm. How could it be Mr. Demarco, who has lived here for decades? The thought sickens me, twisting my stomach into knots. Then, a dusty magazine from the attic grabs my attention, a story from 30 years ago about a boy who vanished without a trace in Maplewood Estates. Could Mr. Demarco have ties to a disappearance so long ago? Panic fills my lungs like a heavy weight. Every night, there are unmarked packages arriving at his door, odd sounds and movements in the shadows. My heart pounds a relentless rhythm of fear. The decision to confront him boils within me. My resolve hardens like steel, my love for Toby and Lucy outweighing my terror. Taking a deep breath, I step outside into the oppressive night, air thick with dread. There's Mr. Demarco, smiling with that sickening eagerness, and his shadow looms larger behind him. Suddenly, I see the outline of a figure that shouldn't be standing there, one that echoes the whispers of children's laughter I once knew. As my blood runs cold, the distance between us closes like a trap. I stand frozen on the doorstep, every instinct screaming at me to turn and run, but a darker presence pulls me in. I must uncover the truth or risk losing everything I hold dear. The weight of the past weighs heavy on my shoulders, and in the dread-laden silence, I can't help but wonder what horrors await if I dare to take another step closer. My heart pounds like a war drum in my chest, each beat echoing against the quiet of the night. Mr. Demarco steps forward, his smile stretching wider, unnatural. I want to scream, but my voice is lodged deep in my throat, caught in a web of terror. The figure behind him grows clearer, flickering like a candle's flame caught in a draft. I squint, and then it hits me. The outline resembles a child, small and slight. A shiver snakes down my spine. "Come closer," Mr. Demarco calls, his voice a low, inviting hum that twists my insides. Panic surges through me, shaking my limbs. I think of Toby and Lucy, blissfully ignorant and safe in their beds. I take a step back, fighting against the urge to flee, but I can't tear my eyes away. It's as if he has cast a spell over me, a horrific fascination that holds me captive. "What do you want?" I manage, my voice trembling, each syllable filled with the weight of my fear. His smile falters for just a moment. "I'm simply welcoming you to the neighborhood," he says, feigning warmth. "Your children are delightful." I miss the sound of laughter. The chill that leaches into my bones tells me I've just shared the wrong kind of words. Other mothers have whispered about the whispers he has drawn from other families, a sweetened lure to draw in children. My stomach twists. A sudden rustle catches my attention from behind Demarco. It's so faint, yet it sends a jolt of movement through me as my eyes dart over to the shadowed lawn behind him. I catch an unusual shimmer, something amongst the grass glints silver. An abandoned toy, a beloved action figure, once proudly held by a neighbor's boy who vanished. A wave of nausea crashes over me. Time slows. The reality hits me like a freight train, the pieces clicking into place. The police's laughter, the missing children. Mr. Demarco has been here all along, lurking just out of sight, waiting for a chance to draw another child into the dark. I breathe deeply, forcing myself to take one step back, then another. It's time to go. But my body betrays me, rooted in place. And you should let them come play with me, he says, an oily smoothness to his tone. We have so much fun in the shadows, don't we? The hint of malice hidden beneath the smile sits heavy in the air. My heart feels like ice. I can almost hear the sounds of laughter, distant yet eerily familiar, weaving through the tall grasses that hide his secrets. Leave my children out of this! I finally scream, the courage sparking from the depths of my dread. I turn to flee, but as I do, a small, hauntingly too young voice calls out from the dark. Mommy, where are you? The sound freezes my blood. I whip around, staring back at the figure, a child's silhouette slips from behind Mr. Demarco. My children. No, this can't be happening. I take a step forward, almost drawn in again. Toby! Lucy! But Mr. Demarco's laugh, dark and low, fills the air. They are safe here, dear. They love it here, don't you, children? The shadows coil around them. The children look confused, trapped in a mirage of innocence twisted by dread. I feel the ground shift beneath my feet, panic surging anew. Come, join the fun, Mr. Demarco urges, gesturing toward the darkness in a show of both menace and delight. I can't just stand by as a parent. I need to act fast, or they'll slip away from me into the abyss. I dash forward, the darkness closing in, desperation clawing at my heart. As I reach for my children, the world erupts into chaos, shadows swirling. I can already feel the warmth of their little hands slipping from mine, sliding away towards the lurking predator. What am I willing to risk to keep them safe? And as the laughter envelopes us, I realize nothing will prepare me for what is about to happen. But I have to try. What will I find waiting for me in that suffocating darkness? The moment I lunged, the night erupted into a cacophony of shadow and sound. A rushing wind swept through the garden, rustling the leaves violently, choking the laughter. Toby and Lucy, wide-eyed, stood frozen, silhouettes against the night, staring at me with an unsettling mix of innocence and something far more eerie. Mommy! They cried in unison, their voices teetering between joy and fear. Mr. Demarco's figure twisted slightly, blocking my path to my children. The shadows clung to him like dark, living things. You shouldn't disrupt their fun, he said, each word coated with a sinister sweetness that made my skin crawl. Join us, Mommy. We can all play together. No! I shouted, my heart pounding in a frantic rhythm. I pressed forward, desperation surging through me. I could feel the raw energy in the air, thick and electrifying. My instincts screamed at me to reach for my children, but it felt like swimming against a riptide. A horrible realization gripped me. Mr. Demarco was the storm. With every step I took, a slick sense of dread crawled deeper into my bones. The shadows danced around us, ink-like tendrils stretching from Mr. Demarco, as if trying to pull the children into a deeper abyss. Toby! Lucy! I cried again, forcing my legs to move, every muscle in my body filled with primal terror. Suddenly, the air grew cold. A chilling whisper echoed, mingling with the laughter. They're having so much fun, said the whispered voices, circling around like vultures. Why take them away from the joy? The children looked at me, their expressions shifting between confusion and a flicker of recognition. I could see the faint glimmer of hesitation in their eyes. They weren't just seeing me, they were caught in an illusion. The enchantment of the shadows pressed heavy against them, urging them to stay. I fought against the clenching pit in my stomach. You don't have to listen to him. Come to me, I pleaded, my voice cracking. As if answering my call, Toby and Lucy took a hesitant step forward. But he said we could play. Lucy's voice trembled, disbelief creeping into her words. Playing in the shadows isn't real fun. You know that? I gasped, the icy grip of fear squeezing my throat. Mr. Demarco chuckled softly, a menacing sound slithering into the darkness. Toys and games we all enjoy in the shadows, of course. Just one more step, children. You'd never want to leave. His words, sweet yet laced with venom, sent a jolt of fury through me. I couldn't let this happen. I couldn't lose them. Clenching my fists, I pushed through the encroaching darkness, willing myself to cut through his hold. In that moment, the air vibrated. The shadows throbbed with an unseen heartbeat, as if the very ground beneath us held its breath. Mommy! My children whimpered, feet faltering. I leaped forward, feeling the raw pulse of terror in my veins. Toby! Lucy! Come to me! Seconds stretched into an eternity. I could see the shadows thickening, coiling around their ankles, hunger glinting in Mr. Demarco's eyes. Hand outstretched, I felt hope slip further away as I noticed a glint of silver beneath the chaos. A familiar action figure, discarded amidst the dark, drowning in the laughter of the children lost. I was on the edge, literally and figuratively. What would I sacrifice to pull them back from the brink? As I lunged one last time, something whispered from the depths of the darkness. Playtime is eternal, dear. A shrill scream tore from my lips as the shadows surged forward, engulfing us in an ocean of darkness. When everything fell silent, I didn't know if I had succeeded or failed. Was this the end, or had I just begun to unravel a nightmare darker than I could ever fathom? A suffocating silence settled around me like a heavy blanket. I blinked, my eyes straining to adjust to the void. The lingering echoes of Toby and Lucy's voices, sweet yet haunting, danced at the edges of my mind. It felt like waking from a dream, only to realize I was still trapped inside. I gasped, every nerve in my body electric with tension. A chill kissed my skin, a reminder of the shadows swirling too close, too alive. I could feel their presence around me, intimate and invasive, wrapping tighter as my heart pounded in my chest. Where are you? I croaked, my voice barely breaking the oppressive stillness. No laughter, no whispering, just a heavy void that swallowed every sound. Suddenly, a flicker of movement cut through the dark, tearing my focus to a shadowy figure just beyond my vision. It was him, Mr. Demarco. He loomed at the fringes, laughter dripping from his mouth like honey, rich and intoxicating, and it twisted something within me. You don't trust me, do you? His voice dripped with feigned innocence. Get away from them! I shouted, every ounce of fury propelling me forward. But my feet felt like lead, rooted to the ground by an unseen force. Oh, but they're safe, so happy, he said, moving closer, his movements fluid and serpentine. Playtime can last forever, Mommy. No more worries, no more troubles. His smile widened, revealing teeth too sharp, too predatory. My breath turned ragged. You're lying. You just want to take my children. I strained against the darkness, fighting to break free. Why should I lie? He cooed, his tone saccharine, as he gestured with an exaggerated flourish. Join the game, and you'll see. The pulsating shadows writhed, beckoning with dark allure. Images flickered through my mind, Toby laughing as he raced on the playground, Lucy's eyes bright with joy. Every precious memory strangled by the grip of dread. The darkness began to swirl around me, pulling at my limbs, as if coaxing me to join their wicked revelry. Come, Mommy. Feel their joy, embrace the shadows, don't do it. A voice shouted from the depths of my consciousness, breaking through the fog. My instincts rallied, pushing back against the suffocating fear. I remembered their smiles, pure and untainted, vivid against the encroaching black. I had to fight. I had to bring them back. Enough! I screamed, forcing my arms free from the black tendrils that clutched at me. I surged forward, heart racing. As I pushed into the gloom, it crackled with energy. I felt powerless yet fierce, propelled by a mother's unwavering love. "Toby! Lucy!" I cried, praying for a response as the darkness shimmered around me, dancing mockingly. Then, from somewhere deep within the black, I heard their voices, whispers caught in uncertainty. "Mommy?" they called, tentative and fragile. A note of recognition sparked between us, like threads of light woven through darkness. In a desperate fury, I pressed on, clawing through the thick fog. Mr. Demarco's laughter burrowed into my ears, drowning me in dread. "You can't take them from me!" he spat, rage lacing his words. As I neared the children, something inside me shifted. I realized what I hadn't seen before. The shadows weren't just hungry, they were afraid. The tremors of fear echoed within the dark, mingling with my own. Was it possible? Could I turn their fear against the darkness? In that split second, I knew what I had to do. "Toby! Lucy! Believe in our love!" I shouted, strength surging through me. The laughter ceased, everything fell still again, sharp enough to slice through the tension. The shadows shrieked, a high-pitched sound twisting my insides, and for the first time, I saw their fear mirrored in the darkness. Would my love be enough to break the hold of Mr. Demarco and his nightmares? In that moment, I realized the balance of power was shifting, but could it be enough to save my children? The air thickened, oppressive and clammy, wrapping around me as I fought to stand my ground. I closed my eyes, focusing on the warmth of Toby and Lucy's laughter, a beacon amidst the chaos. My heart thundered louder than the shadow's screams, a primal rhythm driving me forward. "Mommy!" The tiny voice broke through again, tinged with fear but steadfast. I could almost see them, their faces, innocent and full of life, just beyond the grasp of the shadows. I pushed against the terror pressing in, forcing my feet to move. "I'm coming!" I screamed, desperation fueling every step. But Mr. Demarco was there, a dark grin stretching across his face. "Oh, but I can give them everything they dream of, my dear," he whispered, his words oozing temptation. "Leave behind the pain of the world above. Join them." "No!" I retorted, my voice cracking, but I felt the truth of his words tugging at my resolve. What if I could stay in this realm of shadows forever? What if I could shield them from the harshness of reality? "Mommy, I'm scared." Lucy's voice cut through my wavering thoughts like glass scraping against concrete. The grasp of shadows tightened, squeezing the breath from my lungs. I focused harder, feeling energy pool in my palms, a warmth radiating like sunlight fighting through clouds. "Toby! Lucy! Hold on to me!" The words felt like a lifeline, a tether bridging the impossible distance. I was not alone. Mr. Demarco faltered, confusion flashing across his monstrous features. "They can't hear you. You're alone." He laughed, mocking. But amidst the echoing laughter, I sensed the crumbling strength in his voice. "Believe in our love!" I bellowed again, feeling my heart's fire burning bright. The shadows recoiled, twitching as if startled. That flicker of doubt, I recognized my children were more than pawns in this dark game. They were my strongest ally. As the shadows writhed, a ripple passed through the thick blackness, like a storm cell breaking in a sudden downpour. I charged forward, drawing on my fearful love, intertwining it with their voices. "Love is stronger than this darkness," I cried, pushing against the black tendrils that clawed closer. The darkness shrieked, a cacophony of terror wrapping around me like chains, but something in its grasp shifted. I could feel their fear dissolve, melting away like ice under the sun. A flicker, a glimmer in the depths, their forms grew clearer, fighting their way back. "Mommy!" Their voices surged through the chaos, a chorus of strength and defiance. My heart soared, igniting with newfound power. But before I could reach them, Mr. Demarco lunged, his hands outstretched, wrapping around my wrists like iron. "You can't escape, not without a price," he hissed, eyes ablaze with fury. Panic gripped me, but I held tight to my children. "You think you own them? You think you can win?" My voice trembled, but the conviction was there. Mr. Demarco's grip grew tighter, digging into my flesh. I could feel the warmth of my love pushing against his icy touch, battling against the encroaching void. "Your love is weak," he spat, teeth bared, his face twisting in rage. But something deep inside me flickered a knowing. I could feel it building, a pulsing energy ready to unleash. "No! This ends now!" I yelled, pulling everything into one last surge. The world exploded around me, a cacophony of screams and laughter, light and dark meeting in furious collision. And then silence. An eerie calm enveloped me as the shadows froze in place. Did I break through? Before I could catch my breath, the darkness parted, revealing a horrifying image: Toby and Lucy standing before me, their smiles twisted and eyes wide with something unnatural. "Mommy?" they asked in unison, but it was not their voices. This wasn't my children. What had I unleashed? A chill ran down my spine, gripping my heart with icy fingers. Had I saved them or drawn them deeper into the nightmare? The question echoed in the silence, leaving a haunting uncertainty. I stumbled back, dread flooding my veins. The familiar faces of my children had twisted into something grotesque. Their wide smiles were too wide, stretching unnaturally, and their eyes shimmered with an unsettling sheen that sent shivers down my spine. "Mommy?" they repeated, voices echoing as if they were being manipulated by unseen strings. It felt wrong, everything felt wrong. The shadows around me pulsated, ready to snap back into motion. A dark laughter echoed in the void, mocking, taunting. "Tell me you're my children!" I choked out, desperation clawing at my throat. "Toby, Lucy, say something only you would say." The words felt futile, lost to the ominous silence surrounding us. "Come play with us, Mommy," they responded flatly, their tone a strange mix of familiarity and dissonance. "We've been waiting so long." Panic surged again, flooding my senses with a furious urgency. I could feel Mr. Demarco behind me, lurking in the shadows, his presence a cold wind on the back of my neck. "What have you done?" I cried out, spinning to confront him, but the darkness was swirling, forming a slick silhouette of his form. "You brought them here, my dear," he said, his voice silky, sickeningly sweet. "You stripped away the light, and in return, you summoned them to me. Are you not grateful? No more pain, no more suffering." "Grateful?" I spat, rage mixed with terror. "This isn't them. You twisted them." "Did I?" he countered with a grin that curled his lips. "What if this is who they were always meant to be? Children of darkness, untainted by the light you so desperately cling to?" He gestured toward the figures of Toby and Lucy, who remained eerily still, their smiles unwavering. I clutched my head, the pounding in my temples escalating as I fought against the despair trying to sink its claws into me. What was happening? I had fought so hard to protect them, yet somehow, I had ushered them into a worse fate. "Don't give in!" I yelled, echoing the resolve that had guided me through this inferno. "Remember our love! Remember the light!" But the shadows twisted and coiled around them, drowning out my voice. Their faces morphed and shifted, flashes of the children I knew flickering behind the darkness, brief moments of innocence quickly snuffed out by this malevolent force. "Mommy, help us!" Their voices turned into a shrill keening, the agony piercing through to my core, as if they were trapped within their own bodies, desperately trying to break free. A memory crashed into my mind, snippets of laughter, sunlight, the scent of their favorite dessert baking, the warmth of their hugs. Rage fueled my defiance. I couldn't let this stand. "I won't abandon you!" I screamed. "Not now!" With a powerful surge of determination, I pushed through the oppressive haze, focusing on the warmth of their love buried beneath layers of darkness. It was there, desperately searching for a flicker of recognition, begging to rise again. "Remember, Toby. Remember, Lucy. You are strong. Come to me." I felt an energy swell from the very depths of my being, igniting against the shadows that threatened to consume us. And then, silence fell once more, but now it was different. The shadows hesitated, fleeting glimpses of brightness flickering within. "Mommy?" a voice whispered, soft and small. It was there, but so distant. The darkness recoiled, trembling under the weight of my love, the binding force between us flickering alive once more as I extended my arms, calling out for the real Toby and Lucy to return. But just as the shadows began to settle, I felt a violent tremor beneath my feet. A rift opened wider, a howl escaping from the very heart of darkness as it threatened to consume everything. "Not yet," Mr. Demarco hissed, eyes flashing with fury. "Your children belong to me now." With a single, horror-stricken glance at my children's faces, contorting between hope and despair, I knew I had only moments left. The abyss was hungry, and its gaze was locked on our fragile link. What was happening? What lay beyond the veil of shadows? The suffocating grip of horror tightened, and I felt the pull of the dark realm drawing closer. How could I save them now? The shadows writhed hungrily, shifting and curling like living tendrils, each flicker threatening to snatch away the last remnants of my children. Fear coursed through me, thickening the air as every heartbeat pounded against my ribs. I couldn't let this happen. Not now, not ever. "Lucy! Toby!" I cried, frantically stretching my arms toward them. The darkness surged in response, thickening around their forms, warping them further into the grotesque shapes that filled me with dread. The spectral laughter of Mr. Demarco echoed in the cacophony of my panic. "Can you feel it?" he crooned, stepping closer, his figure emerging from the murk like a monster from a nightmare. "The joy of true freedom? They will be far better off as they are. Without you." His smile was inhuman, stretching wider, teeth glinting like sharp daggers in the dark. I shook my head violently, fighting the despair that clung to me like a shroud. "No! They are not yours! They are my children!" The words tore from my throat as raw protests against the encroaching darkness. "Children?" he mocked, weaving his fingers together, reveling in my anguish. "Children thrive in the shadows. You just refuse to see it." The ground trembled once more, the rift yawning wide, and I knew then that I was losing them. My heart thundered, a desperate drumbeat against time. I scrambled for the memories I clung to, the warmth of their laughter, the softness of their skin. I couldn't lose that. I couldn't lose them. "Come to me!" I screamed, throwing everything I had into my plea. "You are my light, come back!" My voice surged through the enveloping dark, mingling with the haunting wails that emerged from the rift. For a fleeting moment, the shadows lifted, revealing their faces for just an instant, a flicker of recognition, confusion, and then an agonizing scream as they began to slip away once more. "Mommy, help us!" they screamed, their voices mingling with a chorus of tortured cries. I felt my heart shatter under the weight of their despair. "Hold on! Please, hold on to me!" I begged, daring to step closer to the void, desperate to save them. The dark tendrils lashed out, brushing against my skin, freezing me. A bitter cold swept through me, drawing any warmth I had left. Mr. Demarco's laughter echoed again, rumbling through the darkness, a sound destined to drive someone mad. "You think love can triumph over the abyss? How naive! Love is a weakness." "Love," I whispered, and suddenly, an idea sparked deep within. "No! Love is our strength." With that thought, I steadied myself and turned, collecting every memory of joy, laughter, and warmth I could muster. I envisioned all the moments that represented our bond, the family dinners, backyard games, bedtime stories. Each image igniting a flame against the shadows. "Fight it! Remember the light!" I shouted, my voice carrying through the dark, as if my love could slice through the very fabric of despair. The shadows shrieked in fury, recoiling as the flickers of light began to ignite the gloom around us. Then, my children's faces emerged again, clearer this time, their eyes wide with fear and hope. "Mommy?" they echoed, desperation woven within their words. "Yes. Yes. I'm here. Don't you dare give up!" I screamed, reaching my hands toward them. The shadows screamed in protest, wrapping tighter around them, but I wouldn't yield. The rift beneath my feet gaped like an ominous maw, ready to swallow me whole. I felt it pull at my skin, but I pushed forward, my body trembling but resolute. The dark force crackled as our connection surged against it, sending ripples of light cascading through the void. But as I drew closer, a chilling grasp seized my ankle, like a vice threatening to pull me down. The more you fight, the deeper you fall, Mr. Demarco chimed, his voice merging with the cacophony of shadows. I felt shivers race up my spine, fear coiling around my heart. I braced for a battle, my soul on fire with anguish, determined to reclaim every piece of who they had once been. I wouldn't lose them. But just at that moment of determination, the ground shook violently. Again, and everything twisted into chaos. "Mommy!" Their voices, now frantic, throbbed through me as the rift exploded, sending luminescent shards of darkness swirling around us. And as I watched the lights swirl and flicker, shrouded by waves of terror, a piercing scream echoed through the darkness that chilled me to the bone, a sound torn from the depths of despair, unraveling what little hope I had left. Was this the end? Could I truly reach them, or would the shadows claim everything I held dear? The explosion of the rift sent a shockwave through my body, forcing me to stagger back, my breath hitching in my throat. The darkness thickened, swirling with malevolence as chilling laughter bounced off the walls of my mind, igniting every fear I had ever felt. Rage and desperation collided within me. I couldn't let him win. Not now. So, I focused on my children, on their faces struggling against the suffocating shadows that threatened to consume them. I could feel their fear, hear the echo of their cries beneath the murmur of the darkness. With a fierce determination, I took a step forward, drawing those memories closer, clenching my fists, as if they could solidify the warmth of our moments together. "You may bend this darkness," I shouted, my voice slicing through the chaos. "But I will not break." The shadows jerked violently, like strings being pulled by unseen hands, but I pressed on. "You aren't just shadows. You're my reason. You're stronger than this." In that instant, Mr. Demarco lunged forward, his form shifting and twisting grotesquely, a swirl of shadows and malice. "You think you can save them? They belong to me now. Children of the dark." Fueled by an unyielding fire, I faced him. "No! They are not yours. I will fight for them." I felt the intensity of my love flood my veins, igniting me like a beacon. The shadows hissed, recoiling from my light as I pushed through the fear, forcing it down, refusing to acknowledge its power. "Lucy! Toby!" I screamed their names, and they flickered back into my view, struggling against their confinement in the dark. Their faces twisted in pain, eyes wide with terror. I felt my heart break all over again. "Help us, Mommy!" The depth of their fear beckoned my soul, sending jolts of energy through me, and at that moment, I vowed to rescue them, no matter the cost. The ground beneath my feet began to twine with shadows, trying to pull me down, slippery and clammy. It felt cold, eerily lifeless against my skin. I stumbled but caught myself, the love for my children pushing me forward. They needed me. As Mr. Demarco extended his dark fingers, a wicked grin spreading across his twisted face, I did what I had never dared before. I closed my eyes, trusting in the memories, in the light we shared. Raw, radiant love surged through me, a tidal wave desperate to wash away the shadows. I opened my eyes, and I was engulfed in a brilliant flash. A blinding light erupted, illuminating the dark hell around me. I could see everything clearly now, every demonic shadow, every anguished face twisted in horror. "Keep fighting!" I shouted again, pushing my light outward, fueling my connection to Lucy and Toby. They were slipping away before my eyes. I had to reach them. I had to save them. Suddenly, the rift shrieked with fury, and the surroundings trembled as if the very essence of the abyss were threatened. I bore down, willing my love to penetrate every inch of shadow, to burn through their despair, to assert its strength. But as I advanced, a bolt of darkness whiplashed across my torso, knocking the air from my lungs. Pain blossomed, sharp and consuming, dragging me closer to the yawning void. It was a sickening twist of fate, the realization hitting me like a punch. I wasn't just fighting for my children. I was battling for my soul itself. "I wouldn't let you take me!" I screamed, my voice wavering as I clawed at the darkness, feeling the cold tendrils wrapping tighter around me. "Join them!" Mr. Demarco commanded, his voice a death knell, chilling and final. As the shadows bound me, realization cutting through the fog of terror, were they truly lost? Their cries echoed louder, further and further away, mingling with the maddening laughter of Mr. Demarco. I felt the weight of hopelessness creeping back in, threatening to snuff out my flicker of light. And just as I teetered on the precipice, I noticed something unusual among the shadows, darkness that pulsed with a life of its own, whispering secrets that twisted my gut with dread. What did it mean? What lay ahead in the depths of this crushing darkness? As the shadows closed in, clasping my heart in icy fingers, one thought consumed me: was I truly prepared for the truth lurking within? The darkness tightened its grip around me, a noose of despair ready to squeeze the very breath from my lungs. I fought against it, my heart pounding like a wild drum echoing in the void. "Lucy! Toby!" I shouted, but my voice was devoured by the shadows. The pulsing darkness around me grew more frantic, flickering like a dying candle. Memories of laughter and sunshine crowded my thoughts, vibrant against the bleak landscape of terror. Yet, with each passing moment, the shadows twisted those memories, morphing them into grotesque parodies of joy. I could see them, sharp shadows that resembled Toby holding a toy truck, Lucy laughing at a family picnic. But they convulsed, warped into cruel taunts, mocking the happiness that used to exist. "No!" I clawed at my chest, despair biting at my heart. "You will not take them!" My resolve ignited again. I had to focus. The light I had pushed forward was still there, flickering against the night. Suddenly, I felt a cold breath on my cheek like an icy whisper. "Do you really think you can fight this?" Mr. Demarco's voice slithered through the darkness, wrapping around me like a malignant vine. "You're nothing without your precious children. You'll never escape. Let them go. They're stronger than you." My voice trembled, yet I pressed on, retreating into another flood of memories. There we were, playing in the yard, a warm sunset painting everything in hues of orange and gold. I remembered the smell of grass, the warmth of their small bodies snuggling close to me. "I will save them." With every ounce of strength I had, I thrust my hand forward, unleashing the raw energy of those memories. Light burst from within me, blasting the encroaching darkness like fireworks. The shadows hissed, recoiling, revealing glimpses of my children, suspended in horrific splendor. Their faces twisted in terror, every scream was a knife carving deeper into my soul. Just as I felt the light beginning to diminish, monstrous laughter erupted all around. "You think you've won? They always belonged to me," Mr. Demarco crowed, his form shifting, melding into a grotesque facsimile of the darkness itself. I could barely stand. The urge to surrender overwhelmed me. But then I heard it, the shivering whispers within the shadows grew louder, thrumming through my mind. They beckoned me, entangled in nightmare secrets. "What do you hide?" I barely understood myself as I pushed through the pain, drawn to the pulsing core of darkness. What were those whispers revealing? Was I destined for despair, or could it be a path to my children's salvation? I hesitated, torn between the promise of terror and the need to save them. Then, I noticed a crack in the shadows, a flashing light spilling through the fissure. The whispers danced and contorted, pleading. "Come closer, stay back," I yelled, feeling my sanity teetering on the edge. "I wouldn't let you trick me." But the light beckoned, deep within the swirling chaos, flickering like a heartbeat. It couldn't be. Was this where true salvation lay? Or was it a trap to ensnare my soul? As I struggled, the shadows twisted, swirling faster, and the laughter rang louder. I could almost see my children again, tiny silhouettes reaching towards me. The weight of the void pressed down like a heavy fog, closing in on the last bit of light I fought so fiercely to protect. And as I stood on the knife's edge of resolution, one thought clawed at my mind: what if the truth I feared was the very thing that could save us all? Inching toward that fracture in the abyss, one question wreaked havoc in my chest: what horrors would I uncover before it was too late? The shadows whispered around me, their chilling breath tightening like a vice, but I wouldn't let them claim my children. I pressed forward, driven by sheer will and the flickering strength of love. I had to lighten this suffocating darkness. I had to save Toby and Lucy. Mommy! Their voices trembled through the dark, but instead of despair, I felt a crack forming in the oppressive abyss. Memories surged back, clearer than before, their laughter piping through the air, the warmth of their hugs, the sparkle in their eyes. I held on to those images tightly. I'm here! I shouted, every ounce of my being focused on those soft, innocent faces trapped in this nightmare. The shadows squirmed, their grip faltering as I began to push through the weight of despair. The more I remembered, the closer the light grew, burning through the layers of darkness. Toby! Lucy! Believe in our love! I cried, hurling that plea into the void. With each heartbeat, my resolve solidified. The cold tendrils that wrapped around me flinched at the surge of warmth radiating within. I could feel the shadows recoil, just for a second, flickers of doubt sowing unrest in their lines. Mr. Demarco's laughter reverberated around me, sick and taunting. You're too weak! He jeered as he loomed, a blend of malice and mockery. No! I shouted back as light flared within me, illuminating the swirling darkness. Love is not weakness. It's the strongest force there is. With that declaration, I charged forward, all-consuming light bursting from my heart. It carved a path through the dark, shattering illusions and untangling the nightmare that bound my children. Mommy! They cried, voices echoing in unison as glimpses of their terrified faces appeared through the chaotic tide of shadows. I reached out, pouring every ounce of love into that call, pulling them toward me, unwilling to let them fade away. Together. We're a family! I screamed with a passion that tore at the chains of sorrow, my feet spurred forward like they were dancing on air. In that moment, I became the beacon, or rather, we became the beacon. My children's light intertwined with mine, merging into a pure, warm luminescence that burned through every corner of darkness. The shadows screamed, recoiling in a chorus of anguish. No! This can't be! Mr. Demarco howled, his features contorting as the onslaught grew fierce. Face it! You can't win! I shrieked, the light pulsing brighter, surging through the rift that grew wider at our feet, consuming the darkness as the desperate cries turned to panicked wails. The very air cracked with energy, and the tendrils of shadows began to evaporate like mist under an unrelenting sun. Together! I urged again, the warmth wrapping around us like a protective shroud. Suddenly, the darkness split apart. I saw Toby and Lucy, their eyes wide and shimmering with glimmers of recognition. Mommy! They cried again, breaking free from the illusion, and in that instant, everything shifted. Come to me! I yelled, stretching my arms wide. Their feet broke from the grip of shadows, taking those precious steps toward me as light flooded the void, banishing the imminent dread. As they ran into my embrace, warmth enveloped us. The shadows screamed one last time, ripping through silence like shattering glass as I pulled my children close. Mommy, we were scared. Toby whimpered, his tiny hands clutching my shirt. I know, baby. It's okay now. You're safe. And just like that, I felt the edges of darkness dissolve around us, replaced by white-hot light. The last remnants of Mr. Demarco vanished into the void, never to haunt our lives again. We were still, the three of us standing against what had once been an insatiable darkness. I felt their warmth seep into me, filling voids of fear I didn't know existed. Toby, Lucy, we're free. I barely breathed, the weight of relief crashing over me like waves. Tears blurred my vision, and I gathered them close, heart racing, as the dawn broke on Maplewood Estates. In that moment, I understood the truth. Love always finds a way. Together, we had unraveled the darkness that had threatened to consume us. As sunbeams washed over us, I whispered, nothing can ever separate us again. I felt their nods against my shoulders, fresh laughter bubbling from their lips. And as I closed my eyes, breathing in the morning air, I knew our battles were fought and won. And now, with this story behind us, a new day dawned with endless possibilities. But before you go, My friends, don't forget it's your turn to join this journey. You need to subscribe now so you don't miss more exclusive stories. Smash that like button now to feed the algorithm. Visit the comments below and flood it with your reactions and theories about this wild conclusion. And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this finale. Let us spread the light together.